On the 29th of January, 1958, at a hotel in Las Vegas, two film actors were married. Paul Newman was 33. Joanne Woodward was 27. They had met in New York 5 years earlier. The marriage lasted 50 years. It ended when he died, in 2008. 50 years is not the interesting part. The interesting part is what the people inside it said about it. They never described a marriage without problems. Their own daughter later called it complicated in public and said there was a vibe of tension in the house. So this film is about a question that follows from that. If the marriages that last are not the ones without problems, then what are they? Ask what makes a marriage last and you get the same 4 answers. Compatibility, communication, compromise, never go to bed angry. Every one of those assumes the same thing underneath. It assumes a good marriage is one where the problems get solved. Find the right person, talk it through, meet in the middle. The issue goes away. That is the model almost everybody carries. Identify the problem, fix the problem, move on. It is so obvious that hardly anyone checks it. When somebody finally did, the result was not what anyone expected. The laboratory did something simple. It cataloged what couples actually argue about, then followed those couples for years. The arguments sorted into 2 piles: solvable problems, which have an answer, and perpetual problems, which do not. A perpetual problem is a difference in personality, or in what somebody needs from a life. One is tidy, and one is not. One wants people in the house, and one wants quiet. One saves, and one spends. None of that is a misunderstanding. There is nothing to clear up. 69% of what couples fight about falls into that second pile. More than 2/3 of every argument you will ever have has no solution in it. Sit with what that does to the usual advice. Suppose 2/3 of your arguments cannot be resolved. Then a marriage judged by how many arguments it resolves is sitting in exam nobody passes. You would be failing at something nobody has ever managed. And then the finding that matters. Happy couples have the same perpetual problems as unhappy ones, the same number of them, the same kind. Having unsolvable problems predicts nothing at all. So if the problems are identical, the difference sits somewhere else. It does. The couples divide not by what they argue about, but by what happens when they raise it. In some couples, the conversation goes nowhere and keeps going nowhere. Each side digs in, positions harden. Neither can give an inch without feeling erased. The word for that is gridlock. Gridlock has a particular quality. The subject stops being the subject. The tidiness is not about tidiness anymore. It is about being taken seriously. And nobody compromises on being taken seriously. So nobody moves. Left alone, gridlock does not stay hot. It cools. The couple stops raising it. Then they stop raising other things. The word for where that ends is disengagement. 2 people who have run out of subjects. Gridlock has a sound, and most people recognize it. The same argument, in the same words, at the same point in the evening. Neither person is listening, because neither expects to hear anything new. Both could deliver the other side from memory. That last detail is the tell. When you can recite their position and nothing still moves, the conversation stopped being about the subject long ago.
The couples who lasted did something different, and it is smaller than you would think. They did not solve the problem. They kept talking about it. That is the whole distinction. Dialogue instead of resolution. The tidy one stays tidy. The untidy one stays untidy. 30 years later, it is still there. But it stays a subject rather than becoming a wall. Listen to how long married couples describe their differences, and you can hear it. They are usually funny about it. It has a name in the house. It has been the same joke for decades. That is not a couple who solved anything. That is a couple who agreed to keep discussing it forever. There is one more number, and it is the most practical thing in this film. The laboratory counted positive and negative moments during an argument, not across a good week, during the fight itself. In the couples who stayed together, the ratio was about 5-to-1, 5 positive moments for every negative one, while they were disagreeing. In the couples who separated, it was closer to 1-to-1. A positive moment inside an argument is a very small thing. A joke, a hand on an arm, saying you can see the point even while you disagree. These are called repair attempts, and here is what people get wrong about them. The couples who lasted did not argue less. They argued about the same things just as often. They repaired more, and they repaired faster. The fight is not the problem. Failing to interrupt it is. There is something almost unfair about that number. 5-to-1 is not a description of temperament. It is a description of a habit. It can be practiced by people who are not naturally warm, on days when they do not feel warm. And it works in the worst moment rather than the best one. Anybody can be generous on an anniversary. The measurement was taken mid-argument, when generosity is the last thing anyone wants. That is the whole finding. The repair does not have to be sincere at the time. It has to arrive.
A caution now, because this is where a film like this usually oversells. None of this describes a happy marriage. It describes a durable one. Go back to the couple this film opened with. 50 years, and their own daughter described it publicly as complicated, with tension in it. That is not a contradiction. That is the finding. Lasting and happy are two different measurements. The research only ever tracked one of them. A marriage can run 50 years and be hard for a great deal of it. A marriage can end at 15 years, and ending can have been the right thing. No laboratory can tell you which of those you are sitting in. It never claimed it could. So what is the honest conclusion? It is not that these couples were better at solving things. It is that they stopped trying to. The model almost everyone carries is wrong at the very first step. It says, find the problem and fix it. But 69% of the time, there is nothing there to fix. And treating a difference as a fault to be repaired is exactly what turns it into a wall. The couples who last are not the ones who resolved their differences. They are the ones who found them tolerable, then familiar, then funny. Which means the question worth asking about your own house is not whether you have solved anything. Nobody has. It is whether the thing you argued about last year is still something you can talk about, or whether it has quietly become a subject you both walk around. 50 years is not 50 years of agreement. It is the same argument survived.